Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Well, this is definitely not a victory Monday today as the Buccaneers get taken out by the Cowboys, who had nothing to play for except their jobs, I guess. They were beat up on defense, and damned if Liam Cohen just did not want to throw that football last night. We will get all into the Bucs and the Cowboys last night, college football over the weekend, the Bolts yesterday against the stinking Panthers. All that and more here on the JP Peterson Show this morning. Good morning to you, Tim Ham, who has not gone to sleep yet after last night's Cowboys Buccaneers with all your different responsibilities. How are you this morning? How is the Metroplex this morning after the big win? The Mike McCarthy knives been put away for the moment?
Oh God, no. Now all the Mike McCarthy haters are like, oh my God, does this mean he's coming back?
Oh, right.
Oh, it's bad. And we talked about it before the show off the air. I've got some hot opinions on Mike McCarthy and his future here and the whole way the game went for sure. But I thought it was, as a Bucs fan and a Cowboys fan, I think we got our money's worth on Sunday Night Football.
It was an entertaining game, I thought, very much so, because of the hitting. I mean, Dallas was physical last night.
Yeah.
They seemed to have the energy that the Bucs had last week against the Chargers. Yep. Sometimes you can just turn on the TV, or if you're at the game, it just one side just looks like they are flying. The energy is there, and the other side just looks a little flat. It looks a little flat. And I thought the Bucs played. They had some really good moments last night. There's no question about it. Big plays all over the field, but just in general, it seemed like it was the Buccaneers that had just had their playoff hopes taken away and had a depleted defense and was really not playing for much. You didn't, and this is what happens also when you have two road trips back to back late in the season. I'm not making any excuses, but sometimes you can be a little flat. And I think also primetime, I mean, this is what it is. They're 0-4 in primetime, where they've played obviously the better teams, but this team seems to get a little tight when the bright lights hit them. They seem to get a little tight. I thought they played a little tight last night. And maybe it's because, the Falcons won. Michael Pennix came in. I mean, I don't know why you're paying attention to any of that nonsense. You just take care of your business and you got it done. But it's also the reason I was on here last week saying, there's a lot of work to be done. Yes, there are 3 games that you should win, that you'll be favored in. But by any means, this team has been playing a lot of games where it's tight and it can go either way. And you get one bad bounce, one ball gets stripped, and you lose the game. And that's what happened yesterday. Yes, were the Bucs going to go down the field and kick a field goal to win? Absolutely. I think with 4 downs and about 35 yards to go, if they don't turn the ball over, I think they go down and give Chasea McLaughlin a chance to win that game. And I think he does so. But you know what happens when you play every game so tight? A ball doesn't bounce your way, you lose. And that's what happened last night. The Bucs should have won this game and been in control of their destiny, I thought. Dallas, I think they played well. There's no question about it. They played one of their better games. I'll let you talk more about that, Tim. You watch them closer than I do. But I thought it was one of their better games. They did not look like a team that was not well coached. They didn't look like a team that was not playing for something. I thought they executed well. I thought their game plan was really, really good. I thought the Bucs was not. And all those things are going to combine for a loss for the Buccaneers. And now here they sit now in second place. The Falcons are in control of their destiny, but the season is far from over. The Falcons have to go play a Washington team that just came back and beat the Eagles in a very inspirational game for them. Jaden Daniels is the real deal. He's playing as good as he's played all year. So I think Washington, outside in the elements, something the Falcons aren't really used to. They're the favorite to win this game, and the Bucs just need to beat Carolina and the Saints at the end of the year. But this is what I said last week. Are the Bucs capable of going 4-0 down the stretch? Sure they are. Are they capable of going 2-2? Yep, sure are. And that's who they are. They're a 500 team or a little bit better. And that's when you look at the talent on this team, I think they should be better. When you look at the schedule that they've had, they should be better. And this is why when you lose 2 games to a Falcons team that I don't think is as good as the Buccaneers team, I think the Buccaneers roster is much better. than the Falcons. They had a horrible miscalculation in their quarterback situation, and they still might win the division. And as before we get into the X's and O's of this game and what happened, I think this is the larger conversation that we've been having. It's one of the reasons a few weeks ago I said at some point it's going to be Liam Cohen instead of Todd Bowles. So let's go. And I don't think there's, we've already got a heck of a lot of comments that want to see Todd Bowles go. Is Todd Bowles holding this team back? Good case can be made. And again, I love Todd as a human being. He's a great dude, and he had this team on the cusp of winning the division and might again. And frankly, that this conversation is probably for another time. I said it last week. Let's let the season play out, and it will expose exactly what the Glazers need to do in terms of their head coaching situation. So right now, it's really not a time for that conversation. Let's let the season play out and see what Todd Bowles does. If he rips off 2 and they win the division and win a playoff game, that's a case for him to come back. Anything short of that, Liam Cohen is your next head coach. And I think that's all that needs to be said. The season will determine what happens at the head coaching position. Arguing about it is pointless. Now, if you want to argue points of last night that bothered you about what Todd Bowles was doing and Liam Cohen, we're going to get into that. Ain't no question about it. And that can further the case as we look forward down the road on who should be the head coach of this football team. But for those of you who are disgruntled and been waiting for this loss to pull out the Todd Bowles knives, we know who you are, and that's okay. I think that's fine. I'm there too. Again, I think this team has been underperforming for quite some time because of the clock management. We saw it at the end of the half, giving the Cowboys an extra possession with a kicker who can make kicks from 80 yards. It's just that dude, Aubrey, is unbelievable. Never kicked in college, was a Notre Dame soccer player until Skip Holtz signed him to the XFL contract, and now he's the best damn kicker in the league. How about that crap? And that dude is a weapon. And you cannot give them an extra possession. And
his wife talked him into that. His wife, they were sitting on the couch one day watching NFL, and his wife goes, "You can do that." He's like, "No." And they went out and started kicking field goals at a high school stadium, and there you are.
How about that? She
wanted that NFL money.
She ain't wrong.
No.
She ain't wrong. Yeah, listen to your wife every now and then.
All 3 of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, listen, I really think that this Buccaneers team deserves better. And there were, we've talked about some things going into this game. Baker Mayfield was just too loose with the football last night. And that's something that has been a bit of a constant through this season. As good as Baker has been, him trying to extend every play out of the pocket, holding the ball out there. There should have been at least 2 more fumbles last night. The Bucs were fortunate. One, I think 2 of them were overruled. That could have gone the other way. The turnovers were killers. And we talk about some of the key plays. And there's another thing I've said all year long. I love Jalen McMillan. I think he's got a great future in this league. But he is just not strong enough and doesn't play physical enough right now. And a lot of guys learn this coming into the league, folks. College is a different game. You can run around people all the time. The physicality in the secondary is just not what it is in the NFL, especially with the Cowboys. Y'all, Tim, y'all got some guys. Donovan Wilson, Ron Bland. These guys come to play. They are physical. And do you catch the ball? You know what the first thing they're doing? And I'd like to see the Bucs do this more. We don't. First guy, hold him up. Second guy is ripping. And I mean ripping that ball in the run game and the pass game. Bucs don't do enough of that. That was a huge play in the game. Jalen McMillan is open, does a nice job of, little, hand to the face that he got away with. But in that contested catch, that ball is yours and you have to take it away. And I don't know if he got hurt on that play or something, but he came up. He certainly did not fight for the ball because
he got hurt on that play. He did.
Yeah, if you fight for the ball, if it's a simultaneous catch, you get it. You have got to hang on for 2 or 3 more beats. And they'll give you that touchdown. You just can't surrender it like he kind of did because he's not very strong. He's a very spindly guy, and he needs to gain some weight and be more physical at the top of his routes and in catching the football. That was a huge play. It's a simultaneous catch that will go to the offense for a touchdown, and then you're now down 2 points with 6 minutes to play instead of the other. So And I think the longer that game goes, the better chance the Bucs have to win it. If they get close right there, that was a huge turnover.
Well, yeah.
And one other key play, J.J. Russell. What are you doing, man? Catch the freaking football.
That one hurt.
My God. Now, these are the plays. If you're a play, and that ain't on Todd Bowles, by the way. That's not on Todd Bowles. Catch the freaking football. That's a pick six, and you didn't even catch it. Come on, dog. I mean, these are plays that you have got to make. If you're going to – Cooper Rush threw you a damn pick six that turns the entire game around. They
Early
had
Christmas present.
Oh, my God. They had chance after chance after chance. That's another theme of this season. That game in Atlanta. How many chances do you need to win a game? And so, listen, it was all there for the Buccaneers. I thought Liam Cohen was pass happy. Bucky Irvin got 16 carries in this game, 16 carries against a really bad Dallas Cowboys rush defense, and their pass rush was ferocious last night. It was clear that Zimmer was coming after Baker with everything he's got. And with the receiving core that can't beat one-on-one coverage because you don't have Chris Godwin, Shepard went out, you didn't have Cade Otton, so your matchups are bad. Why are you throwing the football on 5 and 7 step drops? You're playing into the hands of their pressure package. Liam Cohen, 43 passes last night, 23 runs, including 3 from Baker Mayfield on the scramble. Come on, dog. Rashad White got 3 carries last night. Bucky got 16. I mean, that's not that you're playing into the hands of the Cowboys in that regard. So you add all that up, and it's a loss, and it's a huge L for a team that should have won that game. Tim, what was your perspective on this one?
Yeah, I didn't think the Bucs played a bad game. Obviously, they were in it late, but look, the Rashad White fumble right at the end of the game. The football gods taketh, and the football gods giveth. Okay, this was karma for the Panthers game that the Bucs ended up winning because of the Chuba Hubbard fumble in overtime. All right.
That's a great point right there.
They just trade. It's a trade-off. All right. It all comes back full circle. Things like that late in games. It happened. Look at the Cowboys. Had the Cowboys not had that ridiculous blocked punt recovery in the Cincinnati game a couple weeks ago that ended up costing them the game, they'd be on a 5-game winning streak right now.
How about that?
So this team is not your typical going into the game 6-8 team. Okay, this team is better than that, especially this second half of the season. If this was the college football playoff scenario and we had rankings and we had to vote on who was going to make the NFL playoffs, the Cowboys would probably be in just based on their second half of the season performance.
Right, and the Bucs might be out.
The Bucs might be out. Just kind of shows you how ridiculous that college football thing is. But
right.
Look, the Cowboys defense showed up. This is clearly the strength of their team. The secondary has not been the strength of their defense even recently. And I saw something from the Cowboys defense in the secondary last night that I haven't seen much this year under Zimmer. And it's those guys hitting like that. It's those guys being aggressive with the ball. I think on the Jalen McMillan touchdown that became the interception, I think he got hurt on that play. And he just kind of let go of the ball. Clearly on the ground, you can see him letting go of the ball. He never really had it, but it never touched the ground. So, good on the Cowboys defense for that.
Well, he had it at one moment. He caught the ball.
Right.
He caught the ball. And
right.
then it was kind of then a simultaneous possession, and then he ripped it away. Who was that?
He didn't fight for it very hard on the ground.
At all. I mean,
because Ty goes to the receiver. So
yeah, he's going to look at that and go,
yeah,
it's the way everybody else did. You got to fight for that ball.
What was I doing?
That's the playoffs. That's the playoffs right there in your hands, man. You got to get that ball. And again, I think Jalen's going to be a tremendous receiver in this league, but he has got to get bigger and stronger. Got to get bigger.
And in missed opportunities, I think both teams had some missed opportunities. Clearly, the missed opportunities for the Bucs cost them a lot more. You mentioned the missed interception by J.J. Russell, dude, right in the breadbasket.
Sterling Shepard
on the plus side of the field. Sterling Shepard.
Come on, you got to catch those footballs. There was the deep ball from,
early, right?
Yeah. There was a deep ball from Baker to Trey Palmer, and Palmer's he's supposed to go across the field, and Baker lets it go, across the field where it's going to be an easy touchdown, use his speed, and he turns the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? These are the things that a Chris Godwin doesn't do. I hate to keep coming back to this, but if Chris Godwin is playing, this team is two wins better at least. It's easily into the playoffs.
And defensively, the Bucs, I think they had the right game plan coming in defensively. You clearly shut down the running game. Rico Dowdle, 13 carries, 23 yards. That's a 1.8 yards per carry average. The longest run he had was 6 yards. Turpin had a 12-yard run. Elliott had the 1 carry on the touchdown. And that was it, man. 31 total yards rushing for the Cowboys for a team. Dowdle had a career-high 149 last week. They'd rushed for over 100 yards in 3 straight games coming into this game against the Bucs. Clearly, the focus was to shut down the running game, and it did. I think part of why Dallas still won the game and was still successful is because they still kept running the ball regardless. Regardless of the stops, they kept running it. Cooper had a freaking out of his mind night throwing the ball. I didn't see a ton of the weird inaccuracies, the short.
That's because he had a humongous pocket to work from.
He had all the time in the world.
Zero pressure. It's not only having time, but when you have a pocket of 5 yards in front of you, you see the field. It's so easy to see the field and step into the throw. Your mechanics, Baker was under pressure every moment because Zimmer was going to look. We're going to let our guys cover. You got a bunch of average dudes out there running routes. You got no K. Dotton. You got Ryan Miller, Sterling Shepard, and Trey Palmer. I mean, come on. That ain't and Payne Durham. None of those guys are going to beat anybody one-on-one. So you go man and the double mug A-gap blitzes all day long and in an offensive line that's done a great job. So how do you combat that? Screens, draws, which we saw a little bit of that, and they were all very successful. But the deep drops, every single time Baker was under pressure. I thought I didn't think Liam had a great game. I thought he threw the ball way too much and played into the hands of the Zimmer pressure. And
that's not a terrible thought going in and trying to take advantage of a very, very depleted Cowboys secondary. I mean, that's not a bad game plan going into it. I just think the Cowboys secondary played out of their minds last night. And I've watched every Cowboys game this year. I've watched most of the Bucs games this year. And I haven't seen that from the Cowboys secondary, especially when Trayvon Diggs was in the game. Trayvon Diggs, he may be done here in Dallas, man. Nobody here is on his side right now. But
Cooper Rush, 26 of 35, 292, 1 touchdown, no interception, only 1 sack on the night.
Yeah, that's the key right there.
And no pressure off the edge. I mean, no pressure off the edge whatsoever. And that's killing this Buccaneers defense. And that's why I've said, for weeks now, I don't trust this Buccaneers defense. They're going to get exposed by one of these teams down the stretch. And so I said last week, the Cowboys, they got playmakers, man. Dowdle and CeeDee Lamb, and CD got loose a couple times for some big plays. And the offense, just too many mistakes to overcome a defense into the great wide open. The middle of the field was just Flournoy. What's that guy's name?
Flournoy.
Flournoy coming in.
He's like the 6th string wide receiver.
I mean, he's wide open, making catches and plays. There was just so many open plays over the middle because Cooper Rush could just stand back there without any duress whatsoever and deliver the football. And that's, unfortunately, we've seen way too much of that from this Todd Bowles defense of this year. So, again, it's an opportunity to get to the playoffs. It's still there in front of you. I don't think the Falcons are going to go win both of these games down the stretch. I mean, this next one against Washington, they'll be underdogs, and the last one against Carolina is no gift. So both teams, obviously the Bucs have to go 2-0 in this scenario, and that's no gimme. That's no gimme against the Panthers this week, and then the Saints the last week. Those divisional games are always hard, even with those teams out of it. They're going to come to play. That's just the NFL. They're putting stuff on tape for next year. So lots of football left, but for me, this was another missed opportunity. And I think when you look back at this season, you're going to say that about a lot of games that the Bucs should have won.
And I will say this for Todd Bowles' defense. They game plan these things all week, right? Defense, Todd Bowles looking at the Cowboys' offensive tendencies this year, and that's how you game plan against them defensively coming into Sunday Night Football. This Cowboys offense that they ran yesterday was not the Cowboys defense offense they have ran all season. This was a vastly different Cowboys offense that they have shown anybody all season. This was Mike McCarthy's offense from Green Bay. All right. Wow. A ton of inside runs. He used Kevontae Turpin last night like he used to use Ty Montgomery up in Green Bay. The very compact formations, you'd have guys 3 wide. Dude, they were right off of the end of the line. We haven't seen that from the Cowboys this season. They typically are the most spread offense in the NFL all season. When you've got guys lined up 3 wide, they're way outside on the numbers, spreading that offense. This that I saw, the first series of the game, Turpin running inside, he hasn't done that all year. And I thought, this is weird. Mm-hmm. And that entire first drive looked different to me. So I guarantee you they caught Todd Bowles a little bit surprised there. Caught him off guard with what they were doing offensively. And I think this has to go back to, the Cowboys found out 4 hours before kickoff they were out of the playoffs. They were eliminated before they ever took the field Sunday night. So I see this and this is the offense I thought we would see when Mike McCarthy got here. So one of 2 things is happening. Either being eliminated, Mike McCarthy knows that his time is limited here, and he's like, screw it. I'm going to put up my offense as a resume on film so I can get some interviews this offseason.
That's interesting.
Or he thinks he's coming. He knows he's coming back already. And he's like, well, then we got nothing to lose. I'm going to show you what my offense can do now that I can run my offense here in Dallas with the personnel that we have right now. Here's what I can do just as a tryout for next season. Because if McCarthy comes back next season, and a month ago I was 0% chance that's happening. Right now I'm about 70% chance he's coming back. Just from what I'm hearing here locally.
Well, it's like you say, if not for a boneheaded special teams play, they're on a 5-game win streak and still in the hunt for the playoffs.
Right. But part of
that deserves.
Part of the caveat of him coming back next year, if he comes back, I think will be, Mike, we want you to be the head coach, but you don't have the offense anymore. I think they want to bring in an offensive coordinator, a legit offensive coordinator to let them run the offense. So Mike's like, all right, well, here's the offense I can run if you let me. And that's what we saw last night. That worked like a charm. Now, that won't, obviously, you're not going to catch defenses by surprise if you run that all the time.
Right.
So, that, but for one game, man, it was a beautiful thing to watch because we just don't see that. And you know what? I don't know that Dak Prescott can run that offense. That's the thing.
Why?
It's because I don't think he has the accuracy to do it on a game-by-game basis. All those deep balls like that Cooper Rush was hitting, I mean, Cooper Rush can't do that regularly.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott cannot do that on a regular basis. He is not a very
against
precise
the Bucs,
deep ball thrower.
Against the Bucs soft pass rush, it makes it a lot easier to throw that deep ball. You can step into it. Your mechanics are really, really good. You can spin it. When you're under duress, it's a whole different deal.
But I thought
Baker made some really good throws under duress last night. I mean, he's a gunslinger, and I thought he made enough plays to win. But I think, overall, he's just too loose with the football when he runs with it. When he moves in the pocket, he's just too loose with the football. Except you're always expecting at the end of the play because he extends too much.
Yeah.
At some point, the journey is over. You got to get down, and I think you could put that on Rachaad White late in the game. But I never want to fault guys for fighting. Fighting for extra yards. And a lot of people say he was loose with the ball. That's a couple of them. But when he got into the crowd, he covered it up, and I thought, that was an aggressive rip, just like Anthony Nelson. That was a great play, like you said. And that turned that Panthers game. And the football god said, "Well, you're going to lose this one on a rip the same way."
Right.
It's a great point, and that's kind of what happened. Let's get into some of the comments here in our first little segment because you guys have been up early and you deserve that. especially you Bucs basement. He's on fire.
He's on fire this morning, man.
Says all they want for Christmas is a new head coach. The jury is out on Bowles. He's the definition of mediocrity. This team has never been 3 games over 500 under Bowles. Enough is enough. Time to move on. Once again, Bowles does not have this team prepared for the moment. It was the Broncos all over again. It's a no-brainer at this point that everything from lots of players to the head coach DC needs to go. I don't know about lots of players. Wait a minute, Tim Ham. What is this Cowboys font this morning?
No, it's not Cowboys.
That's Cowboys font is what that is.
It's called Graduate. I can change it.
No, I don't care. I'm just
there we go.
To the winner go the spoils, my friend.
I didn't even think about that, but that's pretty funny.
Cowboys font this morning. Okay. We'll make it bigger.
Changing it now.
For God's sakes, please. Let's get, do we have any like Buccaneers swashbuckler font? Do they have that? There you go. There we go.
You're like, that's called Metal Mania.
That's squashbuckler font right there. That's what I call it. Go back to the Cowboy stuff. It's so much easier to read.
That's what I thought. Yeah, you might. Let's see. You gotta find it right there. You go.
Let the Falcons win the division. They'll get bounced in round 1, get a first place schedule. This team will be better once we trash the HC, promote Cohen, and finally give O stability. That's from Bucs basement again. But he's not done. How is it that 5 years in, we're still dealing with fundamental issues and poor communication on the D? This offense is on year 1, is soaring. It's an indictment on the head coach, plain and simple. I think we got your point there, partner.
Yeah.
Kenneth McClary says the simple truth is that prime time for Tampa Bay Buccaneers is too bright of a light. When the lights come on, they shrink in the moment. This team has a hard time looking like they are prepared for the big time. I always have a hard time with those type of criticisms. Do guys prepare differently? Do they get tight? I guess it could be a thing, but to me, it's more about when I watched that game last night, I thought the Cowboys were just more aggressive. They were more aggressive. They had better energy, and maybe that's to your point. The numbers don't lie. You're absolutely right, Kenneth, and that's 0-4 in primetime. Simple truth is, I guess we just did. Sorry, I'm losing my place here. Todd Bowles is not a good enough head coach to risk potentially losing Cohen. Yep, that Bucs basement.
Yep,
I agree with you there. William Madden says, "Hey, Jerry P, Merry Christmas to you and your team. Did you see Matt Berry over the weekend with Feinbaum saying 2 teams, Indiana, SMU, are frauds and had no business in the playoff? Watch Bama be in next year." Well, there's a lot of football to be played for Bama to get in. I mean, at this point, I want to rip them as much as anybody else, but
we need to do, if we have time in the second hour, we need to talk college football playoff.
We're definitely going to do that. Absolutely. But to your point, Feinbaum, Tennessee didn't do so well either, did they? It was more the favorites were the favorites. I mean, the favorites are killing it this year. They just rolled. And that home field advantage means something, doesn't it? In that first round of the playoffs,
just like in the NFL.
Yeah, but I have a fix for that, by the way.
Okay,
as I always do.
Yeah, I always fix everything. You're a fixer.
I fix everything. They just let me work, for God's sakes.
Let JP cook.
Yes, let me cook. No, I do. I really do have a great. And I gave it to you last week in my playoff, my 12-team playoff, and my revamp of the entire college football. Just real quickly here, first round games are conference championship games. Division winners against division winners. You think that at a neutral site, you think that's going to be more competitive within conference? Yes. Extremely more competitive. So that's
not a bad idea. Include the conference championship games in the playoff, yeah.
And then the conference championship games become more relevant, which right now they're actually a penalty to play in.
Yeah.
But you can't get rid of them because why? Money.
Even though they mean nothing now.
That's right. But they mean a lot to the people buying them tickets.
Exactly.
Cities that are hosted. Michael Luru says, good morning to you. Clock management at the end of the first half gifted the Cowboys 3 points. The difference in the game was 2 points. Yes, we mentioned that, and you are 100% right. He can't get it right.
Nothing new. It's nothing new, though.
Know how to manage the clock. We want Bowles gone, says Bucs raise Bowles. Baker needs to learn how to throw the ball away. Amen, brother.
I saw him do that a couple times. Just not enough.
Not enough. If Michael LaRue says if the Bucs don't make the playoffs, Bowles shouldn't want for a phone call. He should just collect his things and go. If I'm him, I kind of see the writing on the wall. They're not letting Liam Cohen go. He's not effing leaving. As I told the folks on Good Morning Football, which, by the way, we will show that for those who missed it in the second hour. It's just a little 6-minute clip, but that was fun. We'll get into that second half. I want to talk Bucs. Cowboys. TJC said 22 said it at halftime. That field goal was going to be the difference. Turns out correct again. Yeah, I'm watching it going, what are we doing here? Like, it seems so obvious. You can't, and then of course you come out and just let them go right down the field. You know, that's another thing you have to allow them to do. Play that stupid zone defense. James, guys, it's too hard to have to win after 4 and 6 starts every year. It's taxing on any team. Rashad can't fumble. Also, Liam had a bad night too. 7-step drops all night. I agree. I kept saying, I'm watching, like, what are we doing? I mean, every time you step back, the pressure is unrelenting because you've got Sterling Shepard and Ryan Miller and Trey Palmer. They don't scare anybody. You can cover them with average corners, man to man. And that pressure was on him fast, too. PJC22 also says TB had only 6 unsuccessful first down pass plays. Where miscommunications, Palmer and Evans. One was a sack where Irving looks to have missed the blitz, pickup, and the touchdown that was ripped away. So, I mean, first down passes are good, and Liam just did not have a good flow last night. I don't know what he was thinking in terms of wanting to push the ball down the field when you have the second best running game in football. And they weren't stopping the run. And he comes out in the third quarter, does 3 like he did last week, 3 straight Bucky Irving runs, 2 straight first downs.
I mean, Tampa Bay had 134 yards rushing. They averaged 5.8 yards a carry last night.
And you threw the ball 43 times.
Yeah, why would you go away from that?
And think of all the bad things that happened. How many times did Baker get sacked yesterday? It seemed like about 12.
4 official sacks.
Yeah. And how many? I think there was another 20 pressures.
At least 20 pressures.
It's just every time you drop back, something bad happened for the most part. Or it was 50-50. Yeah. DJC 22 says Bucky Irving did not have a successful run after 3 minutes into the second half. That means there were 27 minutes where he did not have a successful run, yet Cohen called his number on 4 first downs. I
don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I saw a couple of short plays, but you have to have some balance, right? You know this, TJC. You can't just throw the ball on first down every single time. And I think the first carry of the third down, I guess you're talking about after that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just stuck with it. It seems like if you have a couple of bad runs, especially when every time you drop back, you're getting pressure and something bad has happened. Even though on the ones he completed, it was like, whew, that was close, you know? And this was part of the reasons. Multiple AA mug looks, no hot routes to be found. How much do you think of that? It's because of the lack of experience in the receivers. Yeah, Shepard cost us a touchdown. I think it was more on McCollum on that one. Bowles didn't. Jim Barron, good morning to you. Bowles didn't drop several easy catches, throw an interception, fumble the ball. It was a team loss. Saying that, Bowles cannot successfully manage a close game. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Mark Halliday says, time for Liam Cohen to take over. CJC 22, every week guys have to make plays for their quarterback, and every week the Bucs wide receivers, no, I don't think I will. That's true. I mean, there were some big hits, and the one that Mike got smoked, that's a tough catch. That's a tough catch in that situation. And by the way, he was open on his original route, and Baker pulled the ball down and ran. I didn't think Baker did a good job of getting the ball out quickly last night. Michael LaRue said the Bucs are ranked 27th in the NFL with 7 interceptions. Does the defense practice catching the ball? Well, if they practice it, they don't. It's not helping. They're terrible. They're just terrible. They can't catch the freaking ball that J.J. Russell won. That's a game changer. Yeezy says everyone on the defense has regressed or stayed the same. Sorry, Bowles. Tough business, but you're out of here. How come these outside pass rushers do not get any better? I mean, Yaya has not had a great year. We expected at least a double-digit sacks from him.
Yeah,
not happening. I don't see the variance of moves. I don't see anything. They're not. I mean, certainly JTS is not developed. Chris Braswell is a pair of shoes. None of these guys seem to be able to bring anything. Either we're drafting the wrong guys or they're not being developed as outside rushers. The outside rush is absolutely minimal. James says Bucs didn't play bad. Cowboys had something to prove because Bucs behind the 8 ball every year. It causes the team to have to win out. I think this is the main issue. Why 7-step drop? Why Rashad? I mean, Rashad's played well. I'm not going to beat him up. Give him the ball. I didn't think he played poorly last night, except for that fumble at the end.
I thought he had a good game.
Yeah. This is a question that you could have asked before he got the job. Why would anyone hire Bowles as DC if we fire him? Would anybody? I think he'd get a DC job. I don't think he'd get a head coaching job.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that if he wasn't so concerned with running every aspect of the team as a head coach, that he could adapt his defense a little better. And the play calling could be better on defense. That's why that usually doesn't work.
I agree. TJC says Bucs offensive line and pass pro was not very good. Constant interior pressure, throwing off timing, spot throws, forced to step up and escape. I think there was a couple times that guys were open. He didn't pull the trigger, but I would agree in general, the pass protection was not good. And I think it was, a lot of it was the 6. And plus you got Micah Parsons, man. You got a guy on the outside that knows how to rush, and you got to devote 2 or 3 guys to him. Michael LaRue says Bucs have spent a lot of resources in draft capital on outside linebacker. None of them are panning out. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I asked, are we not getting the right guys, not developing them? All right, let's take a break. We'll get to the rest of the comments after the break, and we'll get to some more. We're not done talking about this. Oh, I see a picture there. Who are those guys?
Talk about it after the break.
To talk about the meeting of the minds in Dallas this weekend. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They say Merry Christmas to everyone. Have a safe and happy New Year for going out for parties. Don't make sure you have a designated driver or you are Ubering, because they are out there looking for you knuckleheads and they will get you. Don't do something stupid that you will regret. But if you do, call the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. You go to the website, free case evaluation. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Tell them JP sent you, not attorney spokesman, offices St. Pete and Tampa. Back in 3. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on a defeated Bitch and Moan Monday. We are bitching and moaning, no question about it. That's the Bucs fall to the Cowboys, 26-24 on Sunday Night Football. Very entertaining game last night. But for the Bucs, it's do or die now. They have to win these final 2 games to get into the playoffs. I was just wondering, like, all of this good fortune, and we're going to play my appearance on Good Morning Football here in a little bit, which is really going to look silly after they lost to the Cowboys. All my like pro Bucs, we're having a great time. We're on a 4-game bender. But it's like, well, that's stupid now because you look dumb.
I don't think so.
But listen, if they go down the field and kick the game-winning field goal, it's the narrative is just so completely different, right? It's so completely different. It's funny how one turnover. It's like I said about the Panthers game. It's like, let's don't come on here and celebrate. Oh, the Bucs are the best team. They're 4 games. You should have lost to the Panthers, who are not a good football team, which tells you you're still a marginal football team. And I think as I said in the open, the personnel is better than that. It's just better than that.
And at no point in that game did I ever think the Cowboys were going to win until the Rachaad White fumble there at the very end. Zero time did I ever think the Cowboys were going to win that game.
Really? Why?
I just have more faith in Baker and the Bucs. Because they set everything up perfectly with that little mini comeback at the end of the 4th quarter. Mm-hmm. That drive, all they had to do was go down and get in field goal range for Chase McLaughlin, and he would have kicked the game-winning field goal, and the Cowboys would have walked off like they do most of the time at home this season as losers. Yeah. And that's the way in my head. I wrote 2 post-game pieces for the Bucs. Both of them I had already written with the headline of a game-winning drive.
Really?
Yeah, I'd already had it written.
I thought that was going to happen too. I was like, "Oh, Baker's going to take him right down the field." But then I said to myself, "Just don't turn the ball over. You have to take chances. I get in that situation, but first of all, as soon as the rush gets on him, I'm like, oh, here we go. He's going to fumble this football, and then he gets out of it and gets it to Rachaad, and I'm like, oh, what a play! This is going to spur them to this game winning." And then Rachaad at the end of it, I'm like, first of all, when he grabs the ball and he's holding it out there, I'm like, put the ball away, which he did.
What are you doing?
Which he did. He put it away when he got to contact, and but they still ripped it out. And
I think he was so surprised to have gotten the ball in his hands. I think it surprised him. I don't think he knew what he was doing there for a minute, because he was like, wait, how did I just get the ball?
Yeah. I'm trying to look at some of the other points that I heard. What's interesting is, when you talk about these primetime games, does the coach have anything to do with, quote, preparing your players for primetime games? I see this all the time. Bowles doesn't get them ready for primetime games. I don't know. I don't know how to put
how to quantify that.
That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know how to quantify that. To me, it's more about your persona as a player. Do I think Baker shrinks in the moment? Hell to the no. Do I think he maybe tries too hard? You can make a little bit of a. I think it's more about individual players, who they are.
Right.
Some guys shrink in the moment, some guys don't. I don't think it's coach worthy.
Right.
What do you think?
I don't think primetime games mean as much now as they used to, like when you and I were growing up, because there were so few of them. It was such a big deal to be on a primetime game. Players absolutely and teams absolutely stepped up because they knew the world was watching. Whereas, playing at 1:00 and on a Sunday, there's probably very few people by comparison watching on TV.
Right.
Nowadays you've got a Thursday night primetime game, you've got a Sunday night primetime game, you've got a Monday night primetime game.
Right. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. It's just not, and the way players now is with the age they are and the world they've grown up in with cable and a million channels. I just don't think it means as much.
Mm-hmm.
I do think a coach can get players up though by touting that in the pregame speech or whatever player is leading his team. Usually you have a player doing that pregame thing, getting them all riled up, on the sideline. Yeah. I think that, you can get guys motivated a little bit in that. If you say, dude, we are the only game on right now. Everyone in the world is watching us. Let's show them our best. I think that means something. Okay. I don't know that everybody does that though. And especially Todd Bowles, I cannot see him doing that to his team.
No, he leaves the motivation to other players or coaches.
Right.
I mean, him trying to do a rah-rah speech would be like, nah, that's something is off here. It's just not authentic, and that's why he doesn't do it. This is not his butt, and that's fine. Right. Rick says the Bucs only win primetime games when it's the Super Bowl. Bingo. His defense certainly played primetime that game, but again, look at the players. Tom Brady, he's usually pretty good in primetime. So to me, it's much more about the players, who they are. And that's why when you draft players, when you acquire players, I think you have that in mind. Like, how do these guys play in the biggest moments? When you're looking at the film and evaluating the film, go back and look at Jalen McMillan in the playoff last year. That dude, he was balling out. I don't think he's scared. I just think he's a little light. He's a little light right now. Yeah. Those arms are a little spindly. We need to get some meat on those bones, my man. Because as Mike Evans said, they mentioned this on a broadcast, he's the best rookie route runners he's ever seen. He's going to be good, but he's got to get used to the physicality of the NFL. And that's not unusual for wide receivers. I've seen, I think CeeDee Lamb, when he first came in, was that way, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, and he's bulked up. Mike Evans, it's another one. I mean, you got to learn how to play physical in this league. You got to learn what you can get away with and what you can't. And he will.
As a matter of fact, CeeDee Lamb's after his rookie season, I saw him that following off season. At a crawfish boil here at one of the local eateries and bars, and he was with some of his buddies that weren't Dallas Cowboys, and I recognized him immediately, and I'm like, that dude's an NFL wide receiver, because he was in a tank top and shorts. And dude, he looked like Sean Bradley out there, just like not even proportionate, just so skinny. But now he is certainly bulked up, and and he needed to for sure. Yeah. But it's just weird when these little skinny kids come in from college to the NFL. You just don't have that big expectations, I don't think, but they can certainly turn it around.
All right, now I'm pissed.
Uh-oh.
Well, first of all, before we get to me, let's get to this.
Oh, how you like that right there?
Oh, yeah. TJ and Timmy. Where are you guys at? That's a cool place, wherever that is.
We were at a place called the Yard House out in Las Colinas.
I can see the Yard House right there in the background. See the yard of beer right there.
Yes. I did not enjoy a yard of beer. I did, however, as soon as I rolled up, he had been there for a little bit. That's about an hour away from my house. So once he figured out where he was going to be with everybody, he let me know. So I rolled over there. I hadn't even sat down at the table yet, and the waitress walks up. She goes, "What can I get you to drink?" I said, "I will have 2 draft Miller Lights and 2 shots of Fireball." And TJ looked at me like, "You okay?" I said, that's just what I order every time I go somewhere.
That's the starter. Yes.
That's my starter, but
that's your starter. Yeah. Rub them up. You know your game. You stick with it.
We were trying to enjoy Ohio State and Tennessee. But both of us, of course, cheering against Ohio State. It wasn't to be. We lost interest. Then we had the Mavericks game on, which I don't give 2 flips about. And just a lot of talking Bucs, talking Cowboys, just like you would imagine, and he got into telling a little bit of stories, some Tom Brady stories and some Bruce Arians stories. And he's such a wealth of knowledge and stories, and he's
a great storyteller.
He's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
I was just, Yeah, I was. And the first time we met in person, obviously, it was funny. He's like, I feel like I've known you for years, but it's the first time we're seeing each other in person. So,
and that voice. And by the way, if you think that he turns on the broadcast voice for broadcasting, no, he talks like that when he's ordering pizza. It's like, I'll have the pepperoni and double mushroom.
That's why he's so great.
Yeah, no, that's how he talks. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It was great though. Good times, man. Good to see TJ.
Yeah, I'm sure he enjoyed the stadium and all that was yesterday. We'll find out tomorrow. We'll get him on the show. I want to finish up more of the Bucs comments here, and then we'll get to my Good Morning Football. Where I'm pissed, Mike Holcomb has disparaged me for no reason, and I will get to you in a second.
No,
About my GMFB performance. What else here we got? Elijah Barrera. I want to get to you. Good morning, Tim. Were the Cowboys dancing to the We Dem Boys? Can't believe the Bucs lost to the Cowboys. We Dem. Were they dancing?
All right, look. I look. let me get on my soapbox here. My old man here for a second. That is one of the things I cannot stand about the culture of this Dallas. What in the hell does We Dem Boys mean, and why is it stuck to the Dallas Cowboys? Because that drives me almost more crazy than their play on the field when they're bad. That to me is an embarrassment. We're freaking adults. We know how to spell words. Spell the words. Are they them boys with an S? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what a dem boys means, all right? So get off it, get over it, grow up, and use big boy words to describe your freaking football team.
Get off my lawn.
God, I hate that so much, dude. There's like Facebook groups that people like add me to, and it's We Dem Boys Cowboys group. I'm like, I'm leaving your group because the name of your group is stupid. Get off my lawn.
Get off my.
I swear to God, I hate it more than anything.
No, man. We
like
need
when
to drop.
people spell their names wrong, like the dude, the music artist, The Weeknd. Where the hell did the E go in your freaking name? What the hell's wrong with you? So I can't listen to any of his music. I don't know if he's good. I can't listen. I'm sorry.
Oh, we got to get a We Dem Boys drop. No, we need a Get Off My Lawn drop.
Oh, I hate it more than anything. I hate it so much.
Oh. So James says, so wait, what did Baker do to lose the game? The fumble we had was overruled, and the pick was not his fault. I thought he took sacks. I thought he abandoned the pocket too quickly. And it just thought he was loose with the ball. And it was loose. Not every turnover, a worthy play is a turnover. And I thought he had probably half a dozen last night. But he was under pressure. And again, I think he should have been handing the ball off, running screens and draws more. 43 passes last night against a terrible run defense whose strength is pass rush, right? I didn't get that. I don't know what Liam Cohen was seeing that said throw. I mean, was it because there were 2 scores behind? With that much time left, I don't think.
Yeah, just 2 scores don't constitute abandoning your game plan and going to straight passes. 3 scores, maybe.
Yeah. Joseph Collins says Chris Collinsworth has never been a Bucs fan.
He was when Brady was there.
Yeah, I don't think broadcasters are fans or not fans. Yeah,
I like Chris. We had TJ and I had a big Chris Collinsworth discussion. Had some stories there. I like Chris. I love Chris Collinsworth. I think he's great.
I think he's good. I think he's real good. I think those two together are really, really good. It's always an enjoyable. Mike Tirico, I just think he's just so smart. He never misses anything. Like, you're watching games, and you're like, oh, talk about that. And, it happens all the time, right? With Tirico, I go, oh, talk about that. And he's like, oh, did you see this? I mean, he just never misses anything. And I think he's the most prepared broadcaster I've ever heard. I mean, he doesn't miss anything.
No, he's great, man.
Much respect.
And he's playing hurt right now, too.
Is he now?
He tore his Achilles, a month or so ago.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. That is, I mean, I know he's not a player, but that wrecks your life. Like, you can't walk. You can't do anything. Ooh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Michael LaRue says we need a 6 or 8 team playoff. Are we already going backwards in college football?
God,
Is that what you're doing? No, we just need to tweak it, Michael. Don't relax. It's the first year.
Come on, Michael. Hey, Michael, get off my lawn.
Yeah. And I do think they went overboard to put teams in that maybe didn't deserve it this year because they screwed FSU last year. What do you think about that? Yeah, I'm never getting over it, by the way. Of course, the players like playing for Todd Bowles. He gives them more days off, but then they look like crap and don't warrant those extra days off. I have a huge problem with it. Huge problem with it. It's constantly, we'll see you on Wednesday. I mean, really? It's a playoff push. I know. If you can get them in the building, get them in the damn building. They're getting paid. They have the whole freaking off season off. You know, no. It's way too soft. I think training camp's soft. I think, yeah. Rick said the Bucs only win primetime games when it's a Super Bowl. You damn right. That's right. We already said that one. Christopher Cole asked, did Liam Cohen change the running scheme? I didn't see that last night. Did you?
No, I didn't notice that.
James says Baker had 42 yards rushing. Again, he is not the issue. I don't think enough screens to running backs. Cowboys didn't stop that play, but not enough. Sterling, huge upper. Listen, I'm not saying Baker lost the game for them. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he needs to be – I just think he needs to protect the ball better, you know? I'm not – can we not criticize Baker a little bit? I mean, some of the time. He's not perfect is what I'm saying. No quarterback is. I think that's where he can improve as a quarterback. Jeff Stutler says, JP, example, look at Dan Campbell. He has the Lions prepared for at least they look prepared. It's all the coaches too and the preparation. Okay. All right. But I still think it's more game planning than anything else. Dan Campbell's a motivator. You know, you can't you're comparing Dan Campbell to Todd Bowles. Just two totally different.
Just stop.
Yeah. And do I like the Dan Campbell model? Yes, I do. More than the Todd Bowles model? Yes, I do. I think coaches need to be inspirational vehicles for your team. I think it's paramount. Can you do it without it? Yes, you can. But I'll take the Dan Campbell.
I mean, look at the two greatest coaches in Cowboys history. Tom Landry, the man in the hat, 29 years. And he's not a rah guy. He's not going to get in your face and stuff. He wouldn't even cuss. And then Jimmy Johnson. I mean, he's the most rah in your face guy. He cut a running back in Cowboys camp one time because he had asthma.
Yeah.
The asthma field is over there. And by the way, don't come back tomorrow. I swear to God, that happened.
Wow. Well, how are you playing football with asthma anyway? That's gotta be.
Like the poor kid was like having an asthma attack and they wanted him to go run sprints or something. He's like, can I get it just a second? I'm having an asthma. Jimmy's like, the asthma field is over there and don't come back tomorrow. I'm like, holy crap.
That's awesome. JP and host, my question is, do you want to win next 2 games or lose out or coach get fired? Listen, as I said.
Wait, did he just call me and host? Am I and host?
You're and host. Do you let the season play out, guys? Let it play out. The answer will be clear as day. Trust me on this. There will be no waffling by the Glazers. And I think if you want a quantifiable, what I think is quantifiable, I think you obviously have to win the division. They don't get in the playoffs, he's gone. That is a no-brainer. You get in the playoffs and get stomped in week 1 at home, you're gone. If you win that game and then go and get stomped the next week, I think there's a conversation. I think you at least have got to win the home playoff game and be competitive in game 2. Get to the NFC Championship game, he's back. So, and if he gets to the NFC Championship game, then he's proving himself as a coach that something is working.
And he'll be a couple games over 500.
Yeah. So, but I still don't think Liam Cohen's getting out of the building because I don't think they're getting to the NFC Championship game. I mean,
I just wonder if there's as much hype around Liam Cohen and a head coaching job as the media is out there saying there is here the last couple of weeks. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's some. I mean, I'm sure there's some.
I think there's a lot of hype. Yeah. I don't think it's hype. I think there's a lot of interest. I think there's a lot of.
That's a lot for one guy who hasn't even finished his first season as an OC.
Listen. These owners want you got to have an offensive coach. We know that it's an offensive league. You got to have a good play caller, and you want somebody from the McVay tree. He answers all those questions. And listen, in my limited research, I won't say limited, in my research, because I talked to these guys, he's a leader of men, and he is stepping forward in meetings. And I mean, my question is to particular players is, can you see Liam Cohen as a head coach? And it's always a quick yes. Oh yeah. He's that guy, and they won't say that about all assistant coaches.
Yeah,
he's that guy. He's that guy. He's that guy.
I mean, there are other guys out there that aren't Sean McVay guy, like Canales, right? He was the Seattle guy. He was a.
No, it's from the McVay tree though, because the offense coordinator in Seattle, and I'm forgetting his name right now, was a McVay guy. So he learned mostly under that system. Mm-hmm.
That must run deep then, huh?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it's infected the entire. It's the new West Coast offense, basically, that Bill Walsh brought. LOL, Tim. Agree with grow up, use big boy words. Yes, spell them right. Some of the people in that group probably wasn't even born when they won the Super Bowl. That's for damn sure. And Cowboys, we them Cowboys. How long has it been? 36 years? No, since the Cowboys won the
1995 season, the 1996 Super Bowl. So 28 years?
31 years.
They said there was no math in this job.
All right, we'll take another break. When we come back, in case you missed the monumentous appearance on Good Morning Football, we had some fun with it, so I want to play that. And Michael Holcomb has accused me of something that I am not guilty of. And I am red-faced about it.
Can't wait for this.
Not really. And we're going to talk some college football. Bolts last night, disappointing performance in their 4-2 loss. And I think in the entire post-game show, I called it a 3-2 loss. I don't know why. Maybe because Chief was with me last night.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. It's an empty netter. I always forget those. Sometimes I forget those empty netters, with like 6 seconds left, right? It was a 3-2 game, 4-2 final.
Right.
So we'll talk about that and lots of things going on in college football. We are brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source, folks. It is obviously holiday season, just a few days left before Christmas. That's why the Golden Diamond Source is so important. It's so easy to get in and out of. You just pull up right in the parking lot right there. They have their own parking lot. You walk in. They're there to greet you and say, would you like a drink? What's your budget? What are you looking for? Bing, bang, boom. They package it up for you. You're out. Easy, and you get something great for your lady and maybe something for yourself while you're there. And if you got any old jewelry, bring that in. They'll give you some money for that, and you can use it towards your purchase. How about that? It's the Gold and Diamond Source, the best in the business, and keep it local. They've been doing it for over 40 years. Back at 3. Stay with us.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Overton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStreams.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all you degenerates out there that are going to take all your Christmas money and gamble it away. Oh, I have not been on the Hard Rock app lately. I've been
wow,
taking a break.
Is it a fever? You feeling okay?
No, I've had a good year. I had a good parlay year, and I've been just busy with work, doing all kinds of stuff. You know, the Lightning have been busy last night. Yeah. 4-2 loss to the stinking Panthers, late empty net goal in there.
What hurts?
Yeah.
And they play again on Monday, right?
Tonight,
in Florida.
Back to back. Got to win this one.
Forgot today was Monday.
Yeah, I know, right? That's been me all for the last 2 weeks. By the way, brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. Head on over there if you got family in town and you want a reasonably priced, elegant meal in a great atmosphere. That's just fantastic traditional Italian food. It is Cafe Paradiso. Go see my man Paulo over there. Get a reservation. Number 3 on Open Table. Try the veal. Yes, the veal is fantastic. Piccata, marsala, any way you like it, with some little angel hair pasta, a side of lasagna, as we did. Just absolutely fantastic place, especially for the holidays. Beautifully decorated. So head on over there. If you're off this week, it's a good time to get over there. South McDill.
Do it.
Go on Open Table, get your reservation.
All right, JP, before we get into your Good Morning Football, I have another get off my lawn moment.
Oh, good.
As I'm here at the FanStream Sports Dallas studios and right off the tollway here in North Dallas, and I have all 72 TVs turned on to some variations of sports across the country that are happening now, whether it's studio shows, got Good Morning Football. I had Get Up over here, which I never watch with the sound on, but I'll turn it on for, just for whatever. So Get Up just goes off the air at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up and I'm seeing a football game and I'm like, this is what replay is this, right? Which college football playoff championship game is this that they're going to replay? No, JP, it's not a replay. It is a live football game played at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on a Monday before Christmas on December 23rd. It is the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Oh.
Now, the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Early tea time at the Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, because that's over there. So the Myrtle Beach Bowl is played, and I had to look all this up because I couldn't believe what I was seeing, at Brooks Stadium. Brooks Stadium, the home of the What are they?
Carolina Chanticleers?
The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, which I've never understood what a is that like a chicken or something? The Chanticleers.
Like a fighting chicken, a cock.
So oddly enough, this is a college football bowl game played in a stadium, a 21,000 seat stadium, by the way.
Intimate.
The home of the Chanticleers, and JP, the Chanticleers are indeed playing in this bowl game. However, they're playing in their home stadium in a bowl game as the road team.
Okay, that makes even more sense.
To the home UTSA Roadrunners, the University of Texas at San Antonio, who only have a football program like in the last 5 or 8 years or something.
So you're speaking of this in the gambling degenerate terms because that's the only reason this game is being played.
What in the hell are we doing? Oh, by the way, both teams in this bowl game, 6-6.
Of course.
What are we doing?
We're making money on ESPN.
How can the
programming
the fine people at the Myrtle Beach Bowl that are heading all of this up? I would love
the crowd like.
I would love. There's nobody there.
It's a home game for the Chanticleers.
It holds 21,000 people. I bet there's not 10,000 people there.
Yeah,
that's an early kick. They're probably still getting drunk in the parking lot, which I applaud. Yeah. But how do the marketing people at the Myrtle Beach Bowl sell this to advertisers and sell this to fans who aren't Chanticleers when they don't play in it? Yeah. They don't play in it every year, obviously.
Well, it's a TV game. It's a TV because it's cheap programming for them. People will watch football. It will get a rating, and people will bet on it. And degenerates will bet on it, especially since it's the first game of the day. They will bet on it. So there will be interest, and it will get more. It'll probably get more viewers than First Take. So that's why they do it. And these are all games that are run by ESPN. The Gasparilla Bowl is one of those as well.
It is on ESPN.
They had a great matchup. They had Florida and Tulane, by the way. Florida started slow.
That was a great game.
I think Tulane had 11 opt-outs. Florida had 8 opt-outs. By the way, Florida State's not the only program in America where players opt out to play bowl games.
Tulane playing without their quarterback, by the way,
But how about that? Like, how did we do NIL deals that don't include bowl games?
I don't get it.
You
got to move the transfer window to after the bowl games, right?
I mean,
you have to.
How obvious is this? How do you lead a football team all year long? A good football team in Tulane, 9-4. You know, they at one point were very much in the discussion to make the playoff. And you are a commodity, Mensa. You played and you played well. You were coached well. You were put around a good football team that gave you the opportunity to go to Duke and make more money. And to pay back your loyalty to this program, you leave before the bowl game.
Like, I get guys that are going to the NFL sitting out. Like, I get that.
The transferring guys, this is ridiculous.
No,
this is absolutely ridiculous.
By the way, the Gasparilla Bowl, entertaining. It was 6-0 Gators at the half. I did watch the Gasparilla Bowl.
Yeah,
and then Florida turns on the offense with 27 points in the second half. And Tulane had nothing because they didn't have their quarterback.
Yeah.
Your quarterback means something, JP.
Yeah, and the guy that was playing, Thompson, I think his name was.
First start.
Yeah, and he's a typical portal guy. Was a 5-star recruit, gets beat out in Washington, I believe, gets beat out at another place. He keeps going, transferring when he keeps getting beat out, and people keep taking him in because he had a great high school career, I guess. And he sucks. He just, and you keep transferring. I guess it's a good play because you go someplace new, you get another chance to start. Or how about you stay, learn the offense, get better.
And
when the guy in front of you gets injured, you step in and you play well.
Yeah.
It's that you're never going to get better going from one system to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. You're never going to get better as a quarterback. And guess what? Back in the day, guys sat for 3 years and learned the offense and got their turn.
As a senior, yeah.
Yeah, that's why FSU was so successful. They would have guys just learn the offense. You're 6th on the depth chart. You're 4th on the depth chart. You're 3rd on the depth chart. Now you got a chance to play. And the teams were more successful. The players were more successful. A lot of guys, should you sit behind a guy that's going to be a future superstar and waste your entire career? Well, look what happened to Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson sat behind a bunch of good quarterbacks And when he got his opportunity, he was a co-starter with Casey Weldon. Both of them got drafted into the NFL, and Brad won a Super Bowl. Yep. And he wasn't even a starter for at any particular time, the number one starter. So, there's so many great examples of this, and kids will learn as they go through this process, but hopefully we can get some guardrails out there for college football and transfer portal, because right now it is, I mean, you can't, they're destroying the game. They're destroying, it's not the players' fault, by the way. They're just playing under these rules, but there's got to be some sanity brought to this, and in the very near future, because what's going on is just ridiculous. Did you see the thing Danny Cannell wrote?
Yes.
What you didn't like it?
It was just a little much.
But
I'm
it
not
was
a Danny
spot
Cannell
on.
guy anyway, but
I know you're not, but I am.
No, I know.
Just because he tweaks the freaking SEC so much.
He does.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's the ode to the transfer portal. Here it is. Oh, dear transfer portal player X. Ever since you walked onto our campus, I might need some music for this. 6 months ago, we knew it was the start of something special. You came in just like that works. Like any other broke college student, overwhelmed with your 3 online courses, getting lost on your bicycle around campus, just trying to fit in with a brand new team. That's a struggle for anyone, let alone someone doing it for the 3rd time in 3 years. But look at you now, driving a Lambo, living in the penthouse downtown, flying around the country in your private jet for all your philanthropic work with the children. You have quadrupled your social media following and have built quite the brand. That touchdown celebration that went viral in our 42-14 loss to our in-state rival, that was truly epic and a moment our fans will never forget. I think this may be pointed at some FSU players.
Yeah.
We are deeply saddened to lose someone we consider a son, or maybe an adopted son, or actually a foster child at the very least. But you get the point. Your new school truly is going to get an incredible talent. And while you didn't get to start for us, we truly hope that the 5th time is the charm for you, your agent, your manager, and your personal trainer. You'll always be part of our family, and we will always be welcome back here on campus for the spring game. Your number one fan. Yeah, that's what it's come to. I can't believe you'd quarterback a team the entire year, and then you got to go. You got to get to your new team so quickly. You're not playing in their bowl game.
No.
What are you doing?
I mean, new coaches don't even coach in the bowl game when they get hired at that point, All
right. So on Friday, really a dream come true for me. And Tim is still incredibly jealous. Our favorite football program, Good Morning Football, which has been just and I really meant I posted this the other day. They've transformed the game. Mm-hmm. Like before that, football shows are more like Get Up, where guys argue and scream about X's and O's and who's good and who's bad.
Yeah,
but they have taken it to an incredibly interesting and fun level. Bringing in the pop culture of the game just in such a wonderful way. The energy and the passion that which they love football, and they bring to it the history of the game that they bring into it. It's really what football should be in terms of entertainment. It just takes from fandom to the game, to the X's and O's, which I think they do a great job with as well. Yep. It's all there, and it's Good Morning Football, and it's incredibly entertaining. So because of MOR TV, who I work with, that airs the show, the syndicated Good Morning Football overtime show, they air that show. They asked me to come on as a Bucs representative. Now, remember, this was all done on Friday. And by the way, Mike Holcomb here, who slandered me. Where is his?
Oh, no.
He slandered me.
Mike.
He said, JP, where is it? He said, JP, great performance on Good Morning Football. Next time, don't forget the mute is on, the mute button. So I went to my video clip that I sent them, and they screwed up the audio on the clip.
That wasn't JP's fault.
That's not my fault, bro.
No, it wasn't JP's fault.
It's my second
that was
national
the producer.
TV performance.
And Peter Strager gave you props. It's not. He even said it's not your fault. Not your fault.
Yeah, they screwed up the audio on my clip that they brought him. So anyway, but that's fine. We covered it fine. I didn't know. I obviously couldn't hear it. Nobody could, but I didn't know if I was on a different audio channel than them, which sometimes happens.
Yeah.
Where they can hear it. So I didn't want to bust in when everybody else could hear it and I couldn't. So I waited for someone to point out that the audio was not working for them. Jamie did. So I basically encapsulated what was going on. So anyway, that was the bug in the whole system. But in general, it was incredibly fun. They called the producer, just take you behind the scenes a little bit here. The producer called me ahead of time and the day before, and we went over all the different beats, what they call beats, that we were going to go over. Each host was going to ask me a question. I thought we would have more time, but we only had 6 or 7 minutes in the segment. So I probably went a little long on some things. So we didn't get to all the questions, but I think, shocking, right? I went long and I talked too much.
Good thing they didn't ask you about the stadium.
Yeah. Hey, JP, I heard you're a big fan of the Rays Stadium in St. Pete. We'll be back in 2 hours.
Can you tell us about your relationship with Rays owner Stu Sternberg? 3 hours later.
I'm still foaming at the mouth. All right, so let's get to my Good Morning Football performance on Friday. Have some fun.
Friend on our show from MOR TV in Tampa, St. Petersburg. JP Peterson, what's happening?
Peterson.
Oh my God.
What's up? My favorite show in the world, you guys. I love you guys. I loved Manta. I love it. The jersey. I never really wear jerseys, but Brian Ford, the CEO, hooked me up with this delicious creamsicle Baker jersey here. I'm not going to be Joe Reporter today. The vibe of the Bucs is we're having a ball. We're on a 4-game bender. City's going crazy, so let's have some fun.
Let's go. That creamsicle is delicious, and in my opinion, it's the best version of the jersey that you can get. We're getting a pretty good version of Baker Mayfield right now. The second year quarterbacking this team with the contract he was given this offseason. What sense do you get that this team just works with Baker and his style and the guy that he's become?
Well, listen, he's taken over the town, and I love the fact that he is actually the epitome of the culture of this city, right? We are underdogs, man. We are blue collar. We ain't flashy Miami. We're Tampa Bay, right? And when he signed that contract, he didn't go to Burns, our great steakhouse. He went to the Salt Shack by the bay and hung out with Tristan Wirfs and had some margaritas. He really is epitomizes the fan base here. And the guys love him. I mean, Tristan Wirfs, I talked to him last year when they were going on their run, and I said, you're finally getting an identity. What's it all about? And he goes, it's all about 6, man. It's all about 6. We love him. We run through a wall for him. And they do. And he's playing his butt off. I mean, he's so good right now. He's got the most touchdown passes since he started playing for the Bucs in the league, tied with a guy by the name of Jared Goff. I think that's pretty good. He's third in the league this year at 32. And his quarterback rating through 14 games is higher, best in franchise history, and that includes LFG, Mr. Tom Brady. So, yeah, he owns this world. And the best thing about it, you love it when, and I know you guys love the history of the game, when the quarterback matches the culture of the city, right? Broadway Joe, Kenny Stabler. It's such a perfect marriage, and I love it with Bake.
JP, man, you guys got a lot of good players, especially a young running back in Bucky Irving. He's a little banged up right now, but how important is he in that rushing attack for this Bucs offense?
Oh, he's absolutely essential to it. Last year they were 32nd in the league last 2 years. And this year they're second in yards per carry at 5.2. And it's because of his explosiveness. He has more yards after contact for this little guy than anybody in the league. And he's having a lot of fun with it, too. In fact, I have a video from yesterday's locker room. If we have this, if I can throw it to the video of Baker and Bucky having a little fun in the locker room. You'll see Baker come up with the hoodie on. Here it is.
Oh, no, we have no sound. Oh, no. And I'm like, oh, crap. Is this really happening to me? My Good Morning Football. Oh, here we go. We're back.
No sound.
Here he comes.
No sound.
All right, so Baker basically comes up. Sorry. He basically comes up and says,
no, it's not your fault.
Hey, I heard you were FaceTiming with Bo Nix. Who's your favorite quarterback? Who do you got to know quicker, Bo Nix or Baker Mayfield? And he's like, yeah, Baker, definitely. And then I asked him who throws a better ball, and he wouldn't answer the question. So, yeah, Bucky's killing it, and the run game has changed so much in this team. You guys know if you can run in December and January, you win football games, you win postseason. They're averaging 144 a game, which is, I believe, second best in the league. So they can run it, they can throw it. This offense is explosive under Liam Cohen.
Nice. Jippy, this is great. I love that you come with facts and takes and production elements.
There's my boy.
Perfect. And the jersey. There's something that the national media everywhere has really sunk their teeth into. It's this Mike Evans 1,000-yard streak. We've heard about it for years. This year, it's sitting right here with a few to play. Does he get it? Does he not get it? How is the team handling this and approaching this moving forward? Because we all want to see it.
Yeah, well, it's not just the team, man. It's the city. It's the whole city is behind this. Everybody knows about it. And I loved your take yesterday on how it's going to come down to the Saints, the hated Saints, and the rivalry with Mike Evans especially. And I hope they keep it clean there. Keep it clean, Saints, all right? And give them a chance to, a competitive chance to get that record in the last game. The Bucs are 8-3 when he's in the lineup, 8-1 when he gets 5+ targets, Liam Cohen. I know you have that number. And it's just who he is, man. He is the greatest on and off the field. I've covered him since a rookie came in, was a little edgy. But now he's the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. He's got a great charity along with his wife, Ashley. And they took less money to stay here. It was funny when Jason Light got this deal done. It was a little touch and go. Houston threw a lot of money at him. But Ashley, his wife, got together with Jason Light's wife. And, of course, as you guys know, the ladies run all this anyway. And they got the deal done. And now he's here. He's here, and he's staying here, and he's going to get this record. And, he's so important to the community and obviously to the team.
Hey, real quick, you mentioned Liam Cohen's name a few times. For the viewers at home, he's the offensive coordinator. It's his first year in Tampa. Last year, you guys had an offensive coordinator for 1 year, and he flew the coop for a head coaching job. We're in New York. All the Jets fans want Liam Cohen. Bears fans want Liam Cohen. What's the feeling there in Tampa on being able to retain this guy? And is it one of those, hey, good luck if you leave? Or is it, no, stay here in Tampa with us?
He ain't leaving. He ain't freaking leaving, if you know what I'm saying.
We'll see.
No, he's not leaving. The Glazers are going to find a way to keep him here. We don't want to talk about how that whole thing works out. The season will play itself out, but I really just don't think there's any way they let him get out of town. They had that situation last year, and you guys know it's hard to find coordinators. Everybody wants Liam Cohen, and the Glazers are very much aware of that, so I think he's going to be here.
JP, I want to hang out with you at the Salt Shack down in Tampa. You're a good time, JP. We love you. We love that.
You just asked me out on a date?
Shrimp are freaking off the
future home of GMFB. Here we go.
Shout out to Jeff Smith. And
happy holidays, JP. Thanks for coming on.
Ain't happening.
Yeah. The future home of GMFB, the Salt Shack. Let's go.
Yeah. Talking about my house.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. And I think I got enough information out there. I had like 3 sheets full.
Dude, they were impressed with your preparation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I could tell. Yeah.
If I only prepped for this show as much as I did that one.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it out loud, but.
You guys have you've got, like, I've heard that take before. I've heard that take before, too. Yeah. But it was there's new takes for them, and I wanted to give them a little something, the dry ass shit that they normally get from the reporters that come on there. So
it was great.
Yeah, I thought it went well. I was really very pleased with it. I had a few more zingers lined up for it, but it was fun. But I think they were, I got some great feedback from their producers, so hopefully they'll have me on again if the Bucs make the freaking playoffs. That's why honestly we become somewhat fans of the team. Try to be objective, obviously, but the more success the team has, the more success we have. The more success our show has, the more success you have as a. Look at Scott Hansen was here in Tampa when they won the Super Bowl and got a lot of national recognition. Now he's been doing Red Zone for how many years? 20 years. Jay Crawford, Sage Steele. A lot of people came out of here. What happened to JP Peters? You get a lot more recognition, but that a little bobble there with the video. Did we play that video? I think we played it on our show, right? The Baker video where he came up behind Bucky Irving. Yeah.
You know what? We had it. I don't think we played it that day. We had it. I had it loaded up, but I don't think we got to it that was on Friday.
Yeah.
We had all this stuff going on with the GMFB, and then we did our bracket, for fast food and stuff. So I don't think we got to it.
No, maybe we'll show at some point this week. But yeah, it was fun. It was really a lot of fun, and I hope they have me back, and I think they just might. So yeah, Mike Holcomb, it wasn't my fault. They didn't have the mute button on. They got the video and they screwed it up.
It's not like he was streaming it directly off of his phone to GMFB's broadcast.
Mike says, "Yeah, good job. Thank, appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
It was fun." All right, let's take another break here. When we come back, let's talk some Bolts and some college football. Boy, those games were duds, weren't they? Man, I've been waiting 30 years for on-campus college football playoff games, and they were all.
See, I disagree.
Duds.
I disagree.
You don't think they were duds?
I do not think they were duds.
Okay, good.
Let's talk about it.
We'll have a nice little repartee here. We're brought to you by Third Generation Plumbing. If you have any issues with your plumbing or AC, they do that. In fact, they do anything around the house, any kinds of repairs you need. If you're still looking for a contractor for hurricane work, can't get your guys to come over there and do it, Third Generation Plumbing will get the job done. Go to their website, and you can contact them through there. It's the easiest way to do it. You can email them or call them. They came out at our new studios and did a great job. They were there quick. They got the job done for a great price, and they're honest. Obviously, 33 generations. John Rodriguez is the owner. If it ain't right, he will make it right, and that's important. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com. Back at 3. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show on this Bitch and Mo Monday. The Bowl Buccaneers fall 26-24, as did the Bowl. Too many turnovers, too many mistakes. A killer turnover at the end of the game. Rashad White gives up a fumble on the what would have been the game-winning drive. And
would have been.
Fall to 8-7, and now need to win their final 2 games to get to 10 wins, as predicted. And the Falcons need to lose to either the Washington Commanders, who will soon be the Redskins again, or some faction thereof, and or lose to the Panthers. 18 at home, also a possibility.
How great would it be for the Panthers to beat the Falcons right now? Like, that'd be just about right.
Totally could happen. Then the Bucs could lose both of these games. You know, that sounds crazy. 2 home games against but divisional opponents. They had last year they had to beat the Saints to clinch a playoff spot, and the Saints bullied them, literally bullied them in their own yard. So I think this team is better. I think it should win these final 2 games, but now they're going to need help. And if they finish with 10 wins and don't get to the playoffs, they got nobody to blame but themselves. Nobody to blame but themselves. And so many games that they could have and should have won. I think it's going to be tough for them to win both of these games, to be quite honest. I think they just smell of a 500 team. And when you
as they have been under Bowles.
Yes. And you just watch them play what they're capable of to beat the Lions, to go on the road, to beat the Chargers the way they whooped them, to beat the Eagles, to beat all these good teams. That tells you that your roster is good enough to be an upper echelon team.
Right.
And there's no way you should be 500. And I think Jason Light feels that way because he put the team together. And I think the Glazers feel that way. So,
by the way, I have a question about Jason Light.
Yes, sir.
I saw him on the sideline on the field last night. Is that a regular thing for him?
Yes.
I didn't know that was his style, like getting in the face of the players and stuff.
Well, he's not. He does not communicate with the players, I think, in any derisive way, any negative way at all. He will. I think I've seen him. From what I've seen, I don't watch him the whole time. But what I know of him, and we've talked about this before, he just likes that vantage point down there. He likes to hear the communication. I think, he's turned into, from a film watching guy, I mean, in terms of doing evaluations too, it's much more important what I see and hear with my own eyes and ears. So he's constantly evaluating these players that are on his team as well. It's not just acquiring other talent. Sure. You gotta, you're making decisions on who to keep. And I think it's absolutely critical. I think more guys should do it, frankly, to see how they interact with their teammates on game day, to see how they, fight through adversity. Is this the type of guy that's going to fight through it, or is he the type of guy that's going to go to the bench and kind of bitch and moan to himself and separate himself from his teammates? I think that demeanor on the sidelines and being able to see things from the ground level, you pick up so much more. I think it's brilliant as a talent evaluator and a constant talent evaluator of who's going to stay and who's going to go. So I don't, but he's not
good for him.
He's not getting involved. He's not up in Bowles' ear or talking to
like
players.
Jerry Jones, the GM is.
He's not doing any of that. It's just all taking it all in and, in a very positive way. So I think it's smart. I do.
JP, we have a Myrtle Beach Bowl update. After one quarter, the 6-6 Coastal Carolina Chanticleers are tied with the UTSA Roadrunners 0-0 as an announced attendance of 7,000 people cheer on their visiting Coastal Carolina team.
But every TV, excuse me.
What are we doing?
And every sports bar in America that's constantly stuck on ESPN is giving them ratings this morning for a football game. So
I mean, I am. It's on here. I got it on 4 TVs here.
Well, there you go, sucker.
And I'm watching it and I'm reporting on it. What more do you want?
There you go. Back to our comments. Art Smith keeps it simple. Fire Bowls. Wait. We have an update. We have an Art Smith update.
Uh-oh.
Fire Bowls Tampa Fleet.
Wow, he's getting specific now.
Cody with the best shot of the day. Love your show, JP. I wish your show could take over 6:20 a.m. morning show.
Do they even have one?
Oh, that's a joke.
Is it a national show or is it local?
It's the Pat and Aaron show.
Oh, okay.
Aaron's awesome. That's all I'm going to say about that. JP cursed us with this creamsicle jersey.
Oh,
Easy said.
No.
You know, usually
Beautiful.
I'm going to cop to it. I like the hat, though. How about the hat?
Oh, I'd wear that hat all day.
Ashley said, are you going to wear that hat forever since you got it on Friday? Yes, I am, as a matter of fact. I love this hat. But it's as I said, it looked great on TV. The producer, I mentioned to it the producer the day before, and she's, oh yeah, we definitely got to have a creamsicle. So we are. I said, as I've always said, it looks beautiful. I love it. Just don't play it. Don't play
Tell Brian Ford, your co-host, needs some Bucs stuff too.
Oh. Well, he watches. It's coming in the mail. Christopher Cole say I was fixing to say that. Yeah. What a tough loss. More right rudder. Ugh, brutal. I think that game last night will have longer effects on the Bucs than it will the Cowboys.
Oh, for sure.
The Cowboys are done. Although I think it, like Tim said early in the show, this will definitely buoy Mike McCarthy's chances to come back. Some Cowboy fans may not like that, but they did not play like a team that was out of it last night. That was it looked like a very well coached, energized team.
Yep. And Mike McCarthy was smiling on the sidelines. I don't remember the last time I saw him smiling on the sidelines.
Why did I ask you this earlier and maybe just missed your answer? Why did they play with such energy?
That's a very good question. Like I have no answer because they hadn't done that all year long. You know, it's not like the Bucs are a rival that you're going to get up for. Why didn't they get up for the Eagles like that? Why didn't they get up for anybody like that?
Did somebody say something in the locker room, or is it just the fact that they were on Sunday Night Football and they didn't want to look like a joke?
I think what it boils down to is that they knew they're out of the playoffs, right? Somebody gave the speech, whether it was Micah Parsons or whoever, said, look, all we're playing for now is each other.
House money.
Let's love each other. Let's play like we love each other, and let's do it for us. This is for us, and it's on national TV, and let's go out and play the role of spoiler. Boom. Yeah. Well, then why didn't you freaking do that all season? Is what I want.
Well, and that's an indictment on the coaching staff, you know, and the players, Like, if this is, why can't you play like this every game? Why can't you do it? Frustrating,
especially at home. They hadn't done that at home all year.
The Bolts lose 4-2 last night to the stinking Panthers. It was a 3-2 game and late empty netter for the Panthers gives them a 4-2 win. I really think I did the entire post-game show saying it was 3-2.
You don't have a producer like in your ear going 4-2.
Why did somebody not say 4-2? They're just whatever. Because you'll just think of it as a 3-2 game, you know, when they score an empty netter with 2 seconds left. Nobody really cares. But it was a weird game because it's special teams. It was all about special teams. The Panthers get a power play early on. Great redirect by Sam Reinhart for his 24th goal, just knocks it out of midair down, and Vassie had no chance on that one. And then they get two consecutive shorties, 40 seconds apart on the same power play. But now Chief has seen, you know, Bobby the Chief Taylor has seen a little bit of hockey. He said he's never seen that. He's never seen a game where there was two shorties. Now it happened last year. Yeah. And there's been 3 shorties on the same power play. That's the record, happened in 2010. But I mean, I don't think it's ever happened in a Bolts game. And that's bizarre. And it was 2 turnovers right at the blue line. So the first one, AJ Greer scores, he shoots the puck and then collects his own rebound. Like, where is everybody? Like, it was a 2-on-0. Nobody got back. Left Vassie hanging out to dry, and then he gets his own rebound and then just kind of roofs one from an impossible angle. I don't think Vassie really expected him to even shoot it.
Yeah.
And it goes in, and that's 2-1. And then I think it was Kucherov or Geeky had a turnover at the blue line again on their way in. They couldn't get the damn puck in the zone against the Panthers on the power play. And we go the other way. Luosterainen hits one off the post and in. And it was a great shot. So that's 2 shorties. Now, Braden Point comes back and scores a brilliant goal. The beautiful move in the backhand. So it's 3-2 with about, I think, 8-9 minutes to go, and the barn's finally buzzing. It was eerily quiet. It was kind of just a nothing game. And usually Panthers and Lightning, there's a lot of hitting, it's physicality, there's fights. Neither team wanted to take a penalty. Because both power plays are pretty lethal. And, you know, so the Bolts could not even barely get a shot on net. because the Panthers just locked it down and played great defense, wouldn't allow the Bolts to set up in the zone. Even when they pulled Vassy with 2 minutes left, they couldn't get set up in the zone to get any attack whatsoever. So tip of the cap to the Panthers. This is why they're defending champions. They know how to freaking defend. And the same two will go at it tonight, 7 o'clock down in Sunrise. It'll be interesting. They played Spencer Knight last night instead of Bobrovsky, and he was really good. He got the number 3 star.
Mm-hmm.
He made some great saves. Lightning had their chances. They just couldn't bury one. Kucherov, 9-game point streak ends. So Spencer and I played last night. So they'll definitely have Bobrovsky in net tonight. And Chief and I were wondering, like, do you think Vassy comes back and plays back-to-back? And I'm like, yeah. Because first of all, he hates to lose. He freaking hates to lose. And this is a huge game. I mean, you lose these back-to-back, that's 8 points, right? Divisional games, it's each game's a 4-point swing. You're either up 2 or down 2 in the division. So this could be an 8-point swing in 2 games. So I think you got to put, Johansson's played great as the backup, but I'd still come back with Vassy.
So that said, number one, should he play again tonight? And shouldn't that be Cooper's call? If they won last night, would he be playing again in the back-to-back?
No, I don't think he would have. I don't think he would, but I do think it sends us. First of all, Vassy, not that he's not locked in, but when he loses a game, he's double locked in.
Yeah,
and he's tough to beat back to back. I mean, he's really, really tough to beat back to back. The numbers are off the charts, so he does up his level if it's even possible to do. And so I think on the road, hostile environment, it's really an important game in terms of the standings. I think if he's feeling good and he can do it, I think you let him do it. I think it'll be interesting to see. And the team seems to play better in front of him, just as a he's the backup goalie. We're better with Vassy in there. It's a critical game. It hasn't, we've played 4 less games than the Panthers. So they're a more tired team than we are. And I just think it would be the right move. It wouldn't shock me. And yeah, it'll be Cooper's call, but they pretty much, for the life of his career with Vassy, he makes those decisions for the most part. They don't mess with him. They just let him be Vassy. And I think that's probably the best way to go.
Braden Point stays hot though.
Yeah.
Points in 8 straight games and 18 goals in his last 20 games. Still on fire.
He's been fantastic. And that's a loss that you just, kind of chalk it up. I think they've been playing really, really good hockey. The Panthers are good, and they just came in and the Lightning just couldn't get anything going. They could not get anything going. All right, let's get to Giovanni Suzio. Wow, welcome name. In, Giovanni. That's a hell of a name right there. Welcome in, Paisan. Says Falcons fans are not celebrating, thank God. They'll lose the division. Hoping for the Commanders. Giovanni, I think the Commanders will win that game. I do, but it's the NFL. And I haven't really seen I'm going to go back and watch the Falcons game. So I know I just saw the score and some of the highlights. Looked like Pennix played pretty well. Kyle Pitts did not for my fantasy football championship. By the way, my opponent, Kevin Keever, 174 points.
Holy moly.
I'm at like 110. I'm not, doing even Kyle Pitts gave me a half a point, you bastard, because K. Dotton couldn't play. Of all games for me not to have a tight end. So I think, well, Pennix, maybe he'll go to Kyle Pitts. What a waste you are, Kyle Pitts. Can't believe I draft. That's what I get for drafting a Gator. You suck. Yeah, he scored 174 points. So when I lose big games, it's normally something that has to happen that's historic. The Colts ran for 335, a franchise record. Jonathan Taylor, a franchise record. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor had 48 points and beat me. Saquon. Saquon did great, 36 points. Most of my guys did fine, except, he 174 points. Tip of the cap. So I'm still in it. I got the Packers defense tonight, but I don't think they're going to score. I don't think they're coming up with 75 points. Do you?
No.
Defensively?
No.
I don't think that's going to
happen. Anything could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, Jamar Chase got me 20. DeAndre Swift only got me 6.5. That kind of hurt me. Yeah, he had Jonathan Taylor get him 48 and Devon Achane get him 34.
Devon Achane's becoming a beast in this league. Good Aggie, by the way.
Yeah. He tip of the cap. They did great. So I finished second, probably collect about $1,500 somewhere in there. Not a bad take, but I could have been the champion.
Well, let's get it before we got to end the show, because I got a surprise for you before we end the show. It's not a big surprise. Don't get your hopes up. Yeah. But let's talk college football real quick, as we have been teasing for 2 hours now.
Right.
And look, here's my take on it. Everyone's calling it a dud, a thud. The great Norm Hitzges, his podcast today here on FanStream Sports. Of course, he covered the great Cowboys win, and then he said, and college football lays a massive egg. And that's seems to be the narrative around the country, that everyone's saying, oh my God, what a disaster. What an embarrassment for college football. Look, for all of you that think that, what in the world did you think was going to happen? This is a 12-team college
games.
Why did you think that? This is a 12-team college football playoff. You cannot have 12 teams that are so evenly matched that you're going to have competitive games in the first round. It is what it is. You're not going to have SMU matching up against who, doesn't matter who, and it be competitive. It's just not going to happen unless you have an incredible, story like Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame. By the way, I don't know who cheers for Notre Dame anymore. That's the most disgusting college football program I've ever seen. But my expectations in the first round were very low. Did I want competitive and fun games? Of course I wanted them. That is not what's going to happen in the first round. It might not ever happen in the first round of a 12-team playoff. Does that mean you get rid of the 12-team playoff? No. Sometimes this happens in the NFL, although the teams are more closely matched in the NFL. I get it. But how many times in college basketball in the first round do you have? I mean, I know you get upsets. It's fun to watch. You have it's basketball. You can't expect the same thing out of a football bracket. It's not going to happen.
I would disagree with you. It's not going to happen. I think we can do a better system. But yeah, wild card games last year, I think were average margin of victory was 17 points.
Right.
So, and this one was 19 points. So that's not unusual. I think you were absolutely right. But what I would do, in my redraft of all of college football is have, 6 conferences. You go back to the Power 5, right? And you have 16 teams in every conference, 8 teams in each division. So you're playing a very similar schedule, each division, and then you have crossovers within the conference. We don't need, and then we can still have a couple of non-conference games in the beginning of the season, sprinkle in a couple there. So I think it gives you much better scheduling, number one. But then the end of the year, you have the division winners. You're basically going to have 12 division winners, and the conference championship games, neutral site, become the first round of the playoffs. And I think they would be incredibly competitive because number one, they're conference games. I think that would fix that right away. And then you play it off. You could do some seedings after that. I guess you could have some subjectivity in it after that, or you could just set it up like an NFL bracket, very similar, and just take all the subjectivity out of it. And I think that would fix it right away. And as much as I wanted to see college football playoff games on campuses, that looked like it was a huge advantage to obviously the favorites who played at home was a drubbing. So we'll see how the second round games go at neutral sites. I think it'll be obviously more competitive as you weed out some of the other teams. I don't want to go on this. SMU didn't belong. Indiana didn't belong, blah, blah, blah. Look, Tennessee got blown out too. So,
and you know what? Every team that was in the 12-team playoff belonged in the 12-team playoff. You know why? Because that's the system they have in place now. Right. You can't say one team didn't belong because they were voted in. That's exactly how the system is set up. Everybody belonged in its current system. So
so get rid of that system.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Once again, the committee, let's get rid of it. We don't need it. We don't need it.
There's better ways to do it for sure.
Better way to do it. But you know why? ESPN wants to have control. They want to have control on who they can put in.
They got to get rid of that. Oh my
God. I don't want them to have control. There's no need for them to get these people. They hold grudges. They make political appointments. They've shown that they've done that. We don't need that in college football. We don't need it. We don't even need the appearance of it. Okay? So, and I know, Alabama didn't get in this year. Well, maybe that was to make it look like they didn't do scrupulous stuff last year. Who knows? But you don't need it. So why have it? And the games in general, give Ryan Day some credit. Did you see El Presidente Portnoy hired a plane to fly over?
Yeah.
And extend Ryan Day
Yeah.
for Michigan fans. That was kind of cute.
That was funny.
That was kind of cute. SMU, Kevin Jennings just with some grotesque pick sixes in that game. I thought SMU was a little competitive early on.
Yeah.
But then those just wrecked the game and it got out of hand. And that's another thing that happens. I think when underdogs, when it gets to that point, it's hard to fight back, right? You're on the road. It's cold. It's like you're just crushed because you lost this great opportunity. I think things get away late. Indiana, Notre Dame, I don't think that was ever really a game after that long run. That was kind of debilitating early on in the game.
Yeah.
I was surprised Clemson wasn't more competitive with Texas. But,
well, the problem is you never know what Texas team is going to show up.
Right.
And it just so happens, unluckily for Clemson, the good Texas showed up. And the Quinn Ewers, the accurate Quinn Ewers showed up.
Right.
So does that mean they're going to show up in the second round? Probably not. At least I'm cheering for not.
So this bracket I have doesn't give me the actual bowl game, so maybe you can help me out here. Texas and Arizona State. I think you're going to have Texas as a huge favorite in this game. I don't know if I can make a case for Arizona State.
Yeah, that's in the Peach Bowl. That'll be the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
In Atlanta, okay. Then Ohio State and Oregon in a rematch. This
Rose Bowl.
In the Rose Bowl. That's going to be fantastic. Great
That's
set.
Great, man.
Yeah, just tremendous.
That might be your national championship game right there.
Yeah, there's definitely a case to be made there. No question.
And by the way, the cases are being made. Why is Oregon as the number one seed having to go through the toughest bracket to get to the championship game? Like that doesn't make sense. So they're going to have to beat Oregon and Ohio State or probably Texas to get to the championship game instead of having the bye that Georgia has, where you're going to go through like Notre Dame, Georgia, Penn State, and Boise State.
So what you're telling me is they paved the way for the two SEC teams, Georgia and Texas, to have an easier road. Is that what you're saying?
Boom.
Shocking development?
Yeah.
No.
Go figure.
No, not a shocking development. So we got Ohio State and Oregon and Penn State and Boise State.
In the Fiesta Bowl.
In the Fiesta Bowl. Remember Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl where they first made their name? Huh? Yep. It's a little bit of history there. Who was the running back that proposed to his girlfriend, Johnson?
Oh, God, yeah.
Got the Statue of Liberty play. They win the game, and he proposes to his girlfriend.
Against the Sooners, right?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame and Georgia. Notre Dame.
In the Sugar Bowl.
Notre Dame. They play. They look good. But now
against the backup quarterback for Georgia.
Right.
Although he's
how are they
good.
even allowed to be in with a backup quarterback? That's crazy.
Here we go.
That's crazy. So that'll be an interesting game. So then we'll do the brackets. We go from there. But I would say
I would love to see Penn State lose.
Auspicious start. And Florida wins the Gasparilla Bowl. But bigger than that, as we reported on Friday, because it happened during the show.
Yeah.
Dallas Wilson from Tampa Bay Tech here, the number 3 overall wide receiver in the nation, who had committed to Oregon, signed an NIL agreement, got out of his NIL agreement 2 weeks later to come back and play for the Gators, which good for them. And Florida gets an impact receiver, and they've now got 4 incredible receivers coming in to go with Trey Wilson and Lagway, who wasn't great in the bowl game, who was not great. He's got to improve his accuracy, his passing, but he's young. I mean, he's a damn true freshman. I mean, my goodness. But he's got all the tools, leadership qualities. The Gators are a wagon. They're going to be, I think they got a good shot to be a playoff contender next year. Not only in the playoff, but a playoff contender. Mm-hmm. But a tough schedule. Another absolute gauntlet of a schedule for them.
I already can't wait for college football next year. I'm already ready for it to start again, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm hyped. It's not even over yet this year, but I'm ready for it again.
All right. And Michael Pennix, we go around the NFL yesterday. He was fantastic. And you just, if you're the Falcons and the Falcon fans, how do you just not like, what were we thinking? What were we thinking? How many games did they lose by not having this kid as their quarterback?
It's because they got to play the guy they're paying.
Yeah, well, he ain't playing anymore. And they say that he's going to be released before the $10 million March or 31st payment. So this is
pretty sure we called that on this show, by the way, too, when that
we
trade
did.
went down.
I think we did. Well, we called it when they signed him. Like, what the hell are you doing?
I saw a stat.
What the hell are you doing?
I saw a stat that says if this is the end of Kirk Cousins' football career, and I don't think it is, this is just what I saw, he will have made like $340 million in his career and has one playoff win to show for it. There you go.
God bless him, Sam Bradford. God bless him.
Exactly.
Those two guys made more money and did less than anybody in the history of NFL quarterbacks. All right, my friend. Great job from you. We're going to take a few days off here. We'll have some special offerings up for you, some of our different interviews over the rest of the week. We may or may not come back on a Friday show. We'll see how we feel, but we need some time off, and we'll give you some best of the rest of the week. Thank you guys for being
real quick,
part of the
JP,
show.
before we say our final goodbyes. Yes. We had our on Friday our fast food brackets in which Chick-fil-A won, and there was one restaurant on there I'd never heard of before. It was Culver's that you spoke very highly of.
Yes.
I found out there's a Culver's in between the studio and my house.
Get up. Really?
It's just off a side road. Like, I don't pass it, so I didn't know it was there, but it's apparently there. So I am stopping there on the way home for my first taste of a Culver's, and I need to know what I should order.
Butterburger for sure. Get the Butterburger Deluxe, the big one.
Okay.
All the fresh toppings. I don't know how you like your burgers, but
all the way.
Fries are fantastic. What else? And the custard. The custard. You just got to get a little.
What is custard?
It's like a Frosty. It's like their version of the Frosty. It's really, really soft serve. It's so good.
All right.
They've got a lot of different variations of it that you got to have. So.
I'll report next show then how great Culver's was.
Yeah. Onion rings. They got great onion rings.
I love onion rings.
Really good onion rings. So try those as well.
Here we are.
All right. Thank you guys for being a big part of the show. Have a great Christmas. Hope you have a chance to gather with family. My daughter and my son and my stepdaughter and son are here. And the beautiful Ashley. We're going to have we're fixing to make lasagna right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, the big lasagna sauce and fresh lasagna is getting made as we speak. So thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. We appreciate you. It's been a big year for us. Looking forward to even bigger things in 2025. Have a great, great Christmas. We love you all. God bless. And be a giver, not a taker. Merry Christmas.